How's it going, everybody? This is Aiden from Game Sandwich, doing Gamer Grudge, all that. Sorry if I seem awkward. I'm not used to having big wigs like him around. Hey, you're
I
big
wish
to
I had a
me.
big wig.
I mean, you're big to me. 500, over 500,000 subscribers, and I'm only at 500. So, like, hey, go you, man.
You'll be there before you know it. It
But
goes by in a flash.
this is Killer Six. We're sitting down, just chat about Borderlands, chat about his experience with it and everything. Just see where he wants to go with it too and everything as well. But and in general, you already told me just like before I started recording that you had like about 6 hours with the game in total, which a lot less than I expected. I figured you had like probably like a solid like 10 at minimum, but. Just in general, though, I've seen your video talking about it. I saw like the negatives that you were talking about. Thank you for the whole thing with the minimap. Appreciate
My
that
pleasure.
so much.
My pleasure.
But in general, you talked about like the fog of war being real in that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, can you just like break that down even more on
Sure.
that? Like
Yeah.
how bad was it without that minimap?
So, as I told you before we started actually like doing the talk here, when I went out to San Francisco, I only got to play for like, it felt like an hour and a half. It might have been slightly more than that, but it was legitimately about an hour and a half of actual playing the game, right? So, my first experience, like I hopped in the game as Rafa, didn't even think about the mini map at all, didn't think about like a combat radar or anything like that until after I like did a lot of the different movement things, and then I got into combat. And when you get into combat, and as a brand new player in Borderlands 4, like I didn't know who the enemies were, I didn't know who the good guys were, the good NPCs. So, and you'll see this in Jolt's dude's video, and I pointed it out in my video because I used Jolt's footage, and I showed where he literally shot the same NPC like 3 times. And I was like, there's a bit of a problem here because like we're so used to just using our peripheral vision to like see that mini map and just get like that super fast information about where enemies are in relation to where we're at that particular moment. And Randy had like made the comment like, we want you to play the game, not the mini map. I don't know anybody that just sits there looking at the mini map at all in any of the Borderlands games,
I
even
mean,
like when
I
they put one
haven't.
in Borderlands 1. Well, yeah.
I've used
even
it to
in even
find
when they put
people.
it in Borderlands 1, it's like you're not really staring at it. You just like get quick information from it. And that's why I felt that it was so necessary to like speak up about that. I was like, they're literally taking away something that nobody's ever complained about.
And specifically with the compass too. I remember in your video you like talking about how it was like pretty jumbled and everything.
Yeah,
Really,
it
how was
very
that
cluttered.
whenever it came to like verticality, basically?
Yeah,
Was it
so
horrible with that, or would you say like the minimap's better verticality wise?
I don't think either matters for verticality. It, I know that sounds weird. Think of it this way: when you're playing, let's say Borderlands 2, for example. Let's say you're, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like an area where you're like doing any level of verticality in Borderlands 2. Say you're climbing the tower in Thousand Cuts, for example, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever look at your mini map for while you're jumping up through the various things? No. Like you're literally looking at the game for verticality stuff. Like the only thing that you're going to generally use the mini map for is knowing where the edge of the map is, knowing where the enemies are, and then like with Borderlands 3 where that legendary sound just came from, for example. But by and large for like navigation, I don't even know that the combat radar or the radar thing is even that crucial. Like you'll get, an idea with the combat radar of like, okay, I know that I need to point my character in this direction to like be aligned with this thing. But I've never liked the compass style system because you don't really there's a lot of information you don't get from that. It's like you can point your character toward where it says to go, but then there's a mountain, so
Yeah.
it's like, well, what's the point of like knowing which way to go if I'm gonna have to follow this road anyhow? But they did account for that with the I forgot what it's called now, where it gives you like the line, the pathing. When you
Oh
push a
yeah,
button,
the Echo
you can
4
see
thing where it like
yeah, the Echo
shows
4
you
thing.
your GPS.
Right. But even that, and now granted, we've been playing like really early builds, but even that isn't like super accurate. Like I think Jolt's dude showed it in his video because I completely kept forgetting that that was an option and I never like really pushed it for my video. But when Jolt's dude did it, it told him to go through a floor. It was like, okay, well, I don't know how to do that.
I kind of enjoy that it told him to do that though, just
Yeah.
solely because. So I don't know if you've looked at like any of the videos other than the one I sent you like before about us just talking or whatever, but like so a lot of the times I do videos of like just like mocking things as in like oh hey I'm gonna mock this but it's actually community concerns about things.
Right.
I just do it in a like kind of joking way. But
Right.
one of the things that I had joked about that people seriously had brought up was like why even do the GPS to begin with? Because it felt more or less like they were steering off into like kind of a, for lack of a better term on it, like really, but like a Ubisoft style open world where it's like
Right.
everything feels very much like formulaic almost, where it's like, oh, this has to be 6 meters away from this, or else it's, you know, not going to
Yeah.
be beneficial to players or anything like that. And having the GPS kind of like felt like kind of handholdy in a sense.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
you don't like, do you feel like that's like too handholdy or anything? Or like them
Here,
showing you stuff on the map specifically?
I think the Echo 4 thing is very handholdy, but it's completely optional. So I don't feel like anybody should complain about, you know, oh, it shows me a line of where to go. It's an optional thing. You don't ever have to push that, for example. The compass, on the other hand, is always on the screen and it's always right there at the top where you're used to like a boss bar. So for me, it's like, I don't know, it's like extra information that I don't generally need other than like knowing that I'm pointing in the right direction for you know where I'm going. But I don't know. So here's the thing for me. Like from what I've played of Borderlands 4, I know people talk about the open world aspect. It to me it felt more like Breath of the Wild open world, if that makes sense,
Okay.
versus like say like an Elder Scrolls or something like that. But like everything like it's open but everything is like in its own zones still yet. So I like to think of it as like in Borderlands 2, when you leave like Three Horns Divide and then you go to, you know, Three Horns Valley, then you go through the door and you're in the dust, then you go through the door and you're already in Bright, except now you don't have the doors. It's just, imagine that Borderlands 2 was just open and you just drove between those maps. That's how it feels on Borderlands 4. It feels like you could literally just drive to the various places. And having the compass is going to be helpful for that and only that in my opinion. But I don't know. I even Breath of the Wild has a mini map. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Yeah.
that's it's a similar kind of thing. Actually, I think theirs might be closer to a combat rate. Actually, I don't remember now. I don't remember if Breath of the Wild is closer to a combat rate or to a mini map.
I don't know. It's been forever since I've played.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So,
Me and my son played it over a couple months ago, and I've already forgotten.
yeah, I don't know. I played Breath of the Wild once. Honestly, it's just like one of my least favorite Zelda games. So I'm just like, you
Yeah,
know, I'm
I
good.
I hate the weapon breaking stuff, man. That drives me crazy.
Oh, it bugged me the most about the Master Sword. I was
Yeah.
like, come on, you
Oh,
spend all this time trying to get it, and then you can only use it for X amount of time, and then have to have a recharge.
yeah.
Come on.
I hate that.
But oh well. But I like what you have to say though about the open world because like generally I don't know. I was iffy on it, but also it feels kind of like a natural progression from
Hmm.
just everything being its own segmented areas to, oh,
Right.
now we have this massive open world. And so
Yeah.
I was just more or less, my concern with it was now that they're making it this open world, how are they going to fill it? Are they going to fill it with
Right.
stuff that feels natural to Borderlands, or is it going to be filled with stuff that is like I said before, like formulaic or like stuff that's like very much copy paste like you see in a
Right.
lot
Right.
of other open world games.
I would say that it's more full than Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3's areas. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
again, using the example of Borderlands 2 and how you could just go from map to map. Uh, like you think about like when you do like the Lord of the Rings quest. You know what I mean? You go pick up the thing and then you got to walk from map to map, and like they're all connected. They just have like the load screens in between. So this is just like that, except no load screens in between. but with more stuff happening all around too. You got like events that'll happen in the area. You got bosses that'll spawn in the area. You got spaceships that'll pop up in the area, and you can get beamed up and like go wreak havoc inside the spaceship and stuff. We don't even know what all they got so far. Like we saw somebody had a screenshot where it was like a listing of like all the different like icons that can appear on the compass, and it was like 100 things, and it's like, oh my god, there's gonna be
Wow.
maybe too much to do. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. I didn't know there was that much in it.
I might be exaggerating about the 100, but it was seemed like a lot. Like it was enough that there was like a full screen of it, and then you had to scroll up.
Okay, so at the very least, we're talking like probably like 30 or 40.
At the very least.
So, I mean that's awesome. At least I'm glad that it's like a not having to really worry about it being so much copy and pasted as anything else. Because what they did show with it being that like the bunker or whatever, you go, you hit Echo 4 with it, and then it opens up that weather balloon thing, and then it shows, oh, this is where a vault fragment is. I was like, that just feels almost like everything I've seen in every Ubisoft game where it's like, oh, I've seen that in Assassin's Creed. I've seen that in Far Cry.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
so
I'm sure there's going to be some things that are going to get compared to other things too, like that. And then, like I've heard a lot of people say, oh, this is just Destiny, but with Borderlands stuff. And like, I understand what they're saying because, you know, you ride around on your bike to like go from place to place. But at the same time, it's going to be like Borderlands as well, where you can fast travel from place to place. You go unlock a fast travel station. And unlike Destiny, I don't have to drive across this map and collect like weeds and stuff to like do things later. I can literally just be like, I'm just gonna fast travel back over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. And just in general, I will say this: I am happy that they don't have some sort of crafting system. It seems like
I hate crafting.
If they had added that, I would have been like, okay, I'm done with this. Please no.
Yeah.
But in general, from like everything that you've seen so far, I saw that you talked about there being like some returning weapons, like legendary weapons from previous games. How do you feel about that? Do you like that they're bringing that back, or are you more like, oh, I want to see new stuff? Why bring it back the old?
Yeah, I'm like a 50-50 on that. I think that there's some weapons that should appear in every Borderlands game. Weapons that have been there basically since the beginning, like the Skull Masher. I want the Skull Masher in every Borderlands game in perpetuity.
Give me the
forever.
TK weapon.
Oh yeah, the TK's weapons, you know. There's several others that like the bitch, you know, that could be in like every game. And the bitch is always good, even in Borderlands 3 where it's not the best. It's still good. It's still a good SMG, especially if you get it on normal mode. But I'm good with seeing like certain weapons always appearing in games. And then there's like fan favorites, like the Unkempt Herald when they brought that back in Borderlands 3. That was like pretty exciting for me, and it's actually better in Borderlands 3 than in Borderlands 2, which is really crazy.
Oh yeah, I used it with Moe's all the time.
Yeah, oh man, it's crazy. It's so good. It just doesn't have full auto is the only bad thing. But yeah, I like some items coming back, but I'm one of those kind of people that I would just as much be happy about brand new stuff and things to get excited about. But I know that there's going to be some things that are going to be fan favorites where it's like, okay, that might bring somebody back to play just because they're like, oh man, I had that on Borderlands 2. I want to get that again. So there's some nostalgia there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you on that. I mean, I'd be a big fan of them bringing back the Infinity Pistol just because I used to have a lot of fun playing with Gage and using the Infinity Pistol.
Yeah, as long as it's better than the Borderlands 3 Infinity.
Yeah.
That thing's not great.
Oh, yeah. But, and you know what, just speaking of bringing things back in general, I do want to get some like speculation about where you think the game's going to go. So, in general, so I guess I can talk about this now. So, woo. But for like other than friends, first person to tell is you. So, woo. But Randy Pitchford like forever ago, whenever it like back at PAX, I talked to him, and this was back whenever it was like kind of leaked that there was going to be new Vault Hunters being added. And I asked him about it. I just said, hey, just come on. I want to know. And he just straight up told me, yes, there's going to be Vault Hunters.
Yeah.
He wouldn't tell me which, but in general though, with like there being new Vault Hunters,
yeah.
What do you want to see from that? Do you want to see like old characters coming back as Vault Hunters, or would you rather see them like see new characters? Because I personally really want Tiny Tina to finally make a debut as a Vault Hunter.
I've heard a lot of people say that they want Tiny Tina. I've seen people say that they want Moxie to be a Vault Hunter. I'm like, I don't know about that, you know. Like Mr. Torg being a Vault Hunter, I don't like all that. Now I could see Tina. Like Tina could probably be a
Yeah.
fun one.
I can see her being a demolitionist. There's
Yeah,
everything about
yeah,
explosions. Why not?
exactly. And for as for as hated as it is, the new Tales from the Borderlands had some really cool characters, just not some really good story. But I loved Stapleface. Are you familiar with the new Tales from the Borderlands at all?
Yeah, I played it
Okay,
through it once.
sorry about
Kind of
that.
enjoyed it, kind of didn't. I was
Yeah,
iffy on it.
I'm the same way. Like for like the first, I want to say like the first half, I was like, all right, this is I'm laughing, I'm having a decent enough time, and then it turns into like a cringe fest or whatever. But anyhow, Stapleface. I would love to see Stapleface because that gives us a new Psycho, and it'd be a female Psycho. And I know, spoilers if you haven't played New Tales, you maybe fast forward 10 seconds. Stapleface allegedly dies in that, but we never, never see we
Hey,
never know for sure if she
no
died. I
body,
don't-
she's no body, not for sure dead.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Simple.
It didn't happen in a cutscene, so
Exactly. We didn't get it
or did it?
like Scooter or whatever. So,
Yeah.
so we don't know for sure. But
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to see like Stapleface as a Vault Hunter. I liked okay, so this is a thing that I like tweeted about a while back because they were talking about how big Amon is compared to like other characters. So
Yeah.
like from his point of view, everybody's like smaller, the NPCs and everything's smaller. I said, well, what if one of the Vault Hunters is like a Tink? Like Radon from New Tales is like this little demolitions guy, master of
Yeah.
explosives. So then you would get the opposite. You would see like NPCs would be taller, you'd be running around, so like you feel like you're moving faster, but like you're just low to the ground kind of thing. I think that could be fun too. But I know a lot of people have talked about having like a playable Tink.
that
I
would
always
be
say, well, we already had
absolutely
one. It was
hilarious.
Salvador, but
I mean, let's get
we already
smaller
had one. It
though.
was Salvador.
But that would be absolutely hilarious. I'm like, you know what?
Hmm.
I like the whole like, hey, thinking about the same thing. Demolitionist here. Come on. I mean,
Realistically, we're probably neither of us are going to be happy. It's probably going to be, well, I mean, not happy, but like neither one of us are probably going to be right. It's probably going to be just brand new characters.
oh, I'm sure that it probably is. I doubt they're
Yeah.
gonna bring anyone back. I mean,
Yeah.
when Borderlands 3 dropped out, like whenever they first announced it, I was like, please make Tina a character in this. I want to play as her because she's been my favorite character since 2.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, I doubt she's ever getting added as a playable character, but oh well.
Well, what's funny? Before we got the Arms Race DLC, we had basically no mention of Axton or Salvador. And I was like, maybe DLC Vault Hunters, but obviously we never got any DLC Vault Hunters for Borderlands 3, so whoops.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice
I
if
was
we
hopeful.
had, but I'm just glad that they're finally, rectifying the mistake, so to speak. But you know
Yeah.
what? Just to stick on the character topic, though, did you watch that trailer that they released for Vex?
Which one?
The specifically
basically all
the
they've done.
Mercenary Day one or whatever, where they
Oh,
where
yeah,
they show her backstory.
Yeah,
Just-
where she's working in retail.
In general thought, what did you think about it?
So my first thought as soon as it finished, I was like, oh, people are gonna hate this. And then I go online and I'm like, oh wow, everybody loves it. Because I thought people would be like, oh, it almost felt in a way like it was putting her into like our real world scenario, but it obviously was Borderlandsified. I enjoyed it, but my initial thought was, oh, we're gonna hear a bunch of people complaining about this. But then I go online and I was pleasantly surprised that people weren't just like crying and punching their pillows or whatever.
Yeah, I was very genuinely surprised by what people said about it. Personally, I'm like kind of half and half on it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny in the context of everything, but I also was like, this doesn't fit extremely well in the Borderlands universe to me, but
Right.
at least
that was my concern, is that people would feel like it felt out of place for Borderlands to have her working a retail job and then turning into a siren. But I don't know,
Yeah.
man. Like you can go back and like look at the backstories for like all the other Vault Hunters, and it's like, okay, that's weird, but all right.
But I
Some of
don't
them are pretty out there. Like Brick has like one of the cooler backstories, but like barely anybody knows about it. It seems like.
honestly, I don't even remember Brick's backstory. I know I've
Yeah.
heard it. I don't remember it though.
Go watch Eruption Fang.
Okay. But
Have you heard of Eruption Fang?
no, I have not.
Oh, he is the lore master of Borderlands. If
Okay.
you, I would highly recommend anybody, not just you, but anybody like listening to your show, watching on YouTube or whatever, go check out Eruption Fang. Um, he has videos that cover the entire history of Borderlands and like how characters are connected. And there's like things where I'm like, oh, I completely forgot about that. And then you're like, that ties in perfectly to this. And you're like, wow, pretty
Nice.
wild.
Got it. So he's like the body video of the Borderlands universe. Okay. Well, I need to pay attention to him then. I need to know more
Definitely.
about it because, I mean, I love Borderlands, but like lore wise, I'm just like maybe like 3 layers deep here out of 10. Like I don't pay that much attention to the lore, but I probably should know more.
Well, I don't pay that much. Like, I pay attention to the lore the first time I play through, and then like I pick up little pieces on like playthrough 30 or 40 or whatever. But for the most part, story is not that important to me. What's most important to me is gameplay, end game, loot, and like the DLCs being solid. So those are the things that really, to me, make a Borderlands game great.
Yeah.
If the story's bad though, then it stands out. So
Yeah.
I need the story to at least be passable, and
Yeah,
I think
mean,
every
3
Borderlands game
definitely
has been
stood
passable.
out.
Yeah, well, I think even Borderlands 3 is passable in terms of story. I think people like overstate the problems with it. I think the main problem with Borderlands 3 is the pacing. Like, there's some really like dragging on parts, and there's a lot of parts where they have you go back to Sanctuary, then leave, then go back to Sanctuary, then leave, and then go back to Sanctuary. And then the same thing in Eden 6. You go talk to Hammerlock, you leave, you go talk to Hammerlock, then you leave. It's like, bro, just
Yeah.
like one of those, and then just let us go like nuke some stuff.
No, yeah, I get
I
you.
think
I
that's the
mean,
main problem.
I don't
That
know.
and like some of the dialogue with Tyrene and Troy is like pretty rough, but
I mean, I talked to Sam Winkler at
mhm,
PAX 2 and told him like my thoughts about it and everything. And surprisingly, he agreed with me on
yeah,
some of it. And April Johnson, if you know her, she
yeah,
specifically threatened to fight me because I said Borderlands 3 was bad in the story department. But
yeah,
specifically, it was like Troy and Tyrene. I didn't hate them, but I just
right,
hated the fact that they were specifically streamers. And I
right,
always thought the cult thing works so well. And if they were
yeah,
just religious fanatics and like say screw all the streamer stuff or anything,
right,
it would have been far better off if they had just focused on the
yeah.
whole cult aspect instead.
I mean, to me, that always felt like Randy had his fingers in that pie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's obviously some people that he doesn't get along with, and this was probably his way of saying, "All right, I want them to be like this, so we hate them more." And in his mind, it made sense. I don't know all the specifics of what happened with Borderlands 3 in the story, but to my knowledge, it seemed like there was too many cooks in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is a thing that happens with every Borderlands game that not a lot of people seem to realize is there'll be somebody that's listed as the head writer, and then there's like a bunch of other writers, and those writers will do like, Voracious Canopy on Eden 6, and then this other writer's handling like Ambermire or whatever, and then there's like another group of writers that are handling like Promethea, and then they got to like put it all together or whatever. So I know that they'll have like a template of like, all right, this is what has to happen, but then you'll have like wild variety of like how that storytelling connects together. And I think Borderlands 2 kind of lucked out because there's a lot of things in Borderlands 2 story wise that just don't make any sense. But we didn't care because we were so busy laughing at, Jack being hilarious. And then the pre-sequel came along and like fixed a lot of the things that were wrong with the story of Borderlands 2. So now we're kind of okay with it. But if you really like look at some of the story in Borderlands 2, you'd be like, why, huh? you know?
Yeah.
But but Borderlands 3 is much more noticeable because you're going what, and then it's like, okay, but I'm still stuck here.
Yeah, it holds you
So you're
there and
stuck in that
makes you
spot.
see
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But
Whereas Borderlands 2, the pacing is so good, like you're constantly moving on to the next thing, and that's what I love about Borderlands 2 so much. Is like you're constantly doing something, and moving things forward. Whereas Borderlands 3 drags in a few spots, and that makes
Yeah.
it very noticeable.
Especially with the prison break. I thought the
Oh yeah,
prison break sequence was like far too long.
yeah, definitely. A lot
But
of going back and forth on that part too.
in general, though, like, okay, so for story here, just
Mm.
in general, bring it back to Vex real quick. With
Yep.
that story, like, did you ever pay attention to the Emily Swan theory?
The what now?
Okay. Okay. So in Borderlands, the pre-sequel, there
Mm.
specifically is a character that you learn about in some echo log that you pick up. It's like a side mission or echo logs or something. And
Mm.
it specifically is this girl who is sick. Her sister's
Oh,
taking
Emily
care of her.
Swan?
Yeah, Emily
Oh, did you
Swan.
say Emily Swan? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said a second ago. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah,
you're
Emily
good.
Swan. Yeah, Epic NG
So,
had like made a video about that.
yeah. Do
It
you
doesn't seem
like?
like it's gonna be her though.
But like, curiosity, are you disappointed at all that that's not that didn't connect? Because it kind of was disappointing to me. Because I was like really hoping with the whole purple tattoos. I was like, come on.
Right. Yeah, with the because they mentioned like a purple glow and stuff too in the story. I mean, I don't know. Like, one thing is we don't actually know what Vex's actual name is. She calls herself Vex,
Yeah.
but it definitely doesn't seem like she's Emily Swan. So I don't know. I will say this: having talked with Sam Winkler and Danny Hammond, who they were like a writing team on Borderlands 3, and the two of them did almost all of the DLC stories. So that's where they got to shine. And I think they came on late in like the Borderlands 3 actual story stuff to like try and pull it together. But there's only so much a couple guys can do. But having talked to Sam Winkler, I can tell you he is possibly like the most knowledgeable person for all of the aspects of lore in Borderlands, um, along with Eruption Fang. Like I think there's been times that I've talked to Eruption Fang and he's like, I was telling Sam about this and he's like, oh no. So I think Sam knows all of these things and probably knew about Emily Swan, but maybe there's some other plan for Emily Swan, or maybe Emily Swan's in there in some other capacity that we just don't know about, because that was in the pre-sequel, right? Emily
Yeah.
Swan.
Yeah.
So I
That.
mean, there's the we learn more about her in this one because we're dealing with Elpis, crashing into this other planet. So I expect to see Pickle, if nothing else.
Oh, I completely forgot about Pickle.
Sorry about that.
I completely forgot about him.
Just
I
imagine you
wonder if
like
he'll
turning
be
into
back.
that soldier with the 1,000-yard stare image right there, as I said, Pickle, and you're just like,
No, just calling it out. He's just going to be one of the DLC Vault Hunters.
oh man.
He'll be one of
Pickle and
them.
Ava. Pickle and Ava, the two DLC Vault Hunters.
God, I swear, if they bring back Ava, I will be so sad.
And then they add romancing as an option, and it only works between those two characters.
Oh, Jesus. No, please. Save everyone's sanity.
Oh man.
But,
I should not be allowed to have a microphone.
no, so, just in general, though, like, here, I'll cut it here a little bit, like, soon, because I know it's, like, been, like, half hour or so. But
I've
I
still
don't
got
know.
time if you
Oh,
do.
okay. I didn't
Up
know
to
if it
you.
mattered to you or not. But,
Yeah.
but in general, like, DLC wise, like, you had mentioned that so one of, I can't remember who it was, one of the Gearbox team members, they compared the DLC that they had mentioned, which was specifically like they have new areas and then they have new DLCs, and then they compared it like where, let me, what, I have it pulled up. I'm going to look real quick. They compared what it was. Is they compared the unique areas thing to being Headhunter DLCs. And then they compared the new, like the other ones, like the new map regions, to being like full blown DLCs and everything. What do you expect out of the DLCs? Do you expect more stuff like linked to the pre-sequel, like Elpis crashing in? Do you expect maybe Elpis to be a playable area or something for a DLC, or like what
Yeah,
do
I
you
know.
hope for it?
To my knowledge, I think that Randy had even like hinted that we will get to go to Elpis during the main story. So I don't know that it would have to be a DLC to get there, but um
Oh, I didn't know he did
I don't
that,
know.
so.
Like I don't really know what to expect. I do expect more than what Wonderlands gave us, though. I can tell you that. If we get DLCs like that again, that would be the end of the franchise, most likely. You can't do that ever
Oh, it
again.
would.
Yeah,
I want
that
everything to
would.
be minimum, like Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep style.
Yeah,
Like, at
yeah,
least that
exactly.
length.
There needs to be multiple, like, it needs to have a substantial enough mission that it doesn't feel like, all right, well, that was a fun half hour, I'm done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you.
Or that was not even a fun half hour. I just killed a shark that's name was, we'll add name later or whatever. I forgot what was it, unknown name or something like that.
I
Or,
I honestly don't know. The
it was so
DLCs
bad.
for Wonderlands were so bad that I just like completely forget about them until somebody mentions that
Now
I had DLC, and then I go, "Oh yeah, that
I
was a
loved
thing."
I loved the third one though. The third mirror where we went through like there was like that castle gate. We had to shoot the things off, and then we had like the three different directions we had to go to like unlock the gate, and then you had to fight that boss that was in like that round thing. I forgot the boss's name though. And he has like the cannons that are like going around in a circle. So like you have to like shoot the targets, and then the boss drops in, and then you have to run through the gauntlet and teleport back up.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that one I loved. I loved that one, but all the other one, and even that one, even that one at the end, I was like, it's a step in the right direction, but it's still not what we expect from a DLC in
yeah.
Borderlands, you know? So
And you know what? Just also too with DLC, what what do you think about the price in general? Just
um
$130 is the Super
yeah,
Deluxe Edition, and that's just like really
right.
you're getting the new regions, you're getting the DLCs and everything. It's essentially like they
And the
said
Vault Hunter.
like four Headhunter DLCs basically, two normal
Hmm.
DLCs, and then the Vault Hunters. Like, do you think that's worth it
Right.
in your opinion?
I mean, I don't know what all we're getting, so it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, it's definitely 100% worth it. What I've been telling everybody is don't pre-order. Like if you
Yeah,
don't want the cosmetics, because that's all it's going to be. If you don't want that stuff, don't pre-order. Make them prove that they've listened to the community and that they're going to give us solid DLCs. And then, if you feel like it, then order the game. You know what I mean? But I do have concerns. Like what they've said is very vague again, and it was very vague with Wonderlands. So um, when like kind of going off on a tangent a little bit here, but when I had early access to Wonderlands, I remember telling my wife, I was like, "This is amazing. This game is going to be so good. I can't wait to see what they do for DLCs because it's set in this fantasy thing, and they can do anything they want." And then that first DLC came out, and we're just like, "What happened? Like everything about this was so good. What happened?" So I don't know. I hope that they've learned from that and they're not going to make that mistake again. But I can't sit here and tell you, oh yeah, this seems like it's 100% worth it because I have no idea.
I get you. I mean, like, I'm just really on the fence about it because like I love
Yeah.
Borderlands. I
Right.
know on Discord here like you can't like actually see my camera because it's like going through OBS and everything right now. But like I have
Hmm.
I have like Borderlands tattoos down my arm and
Nice.
everything. Like I have the vault symbol
Nice.
tattooed on me and stuff. And I'm just like,
Hmm.
I love the series. It's one of my favorite growing
Yeah.
up. But like now more than ever, I'm like, I don't
You're
know if I
concerned.
really want it. And I'm
Yeah.
like very concerned about it because
Yeah. We
the
all are.
three was that
We're all
bad. The
concerned.
movie flopped so bad. Then like
Yeah.
Wonderlands, like you said, I loved Wonderlands. I
Hmm.
absolutely
Yeah.
loved it at the start, but like I
Yeah.
realized that like it was like after you blow up the ocean,
Hmm.
like spoilers, you blow up the ocean. But
Hmm.
after that, it just felt like it dragged.
Hmm.
Like it felt like
Yeah.
such
I
a
thought the
slog
story
to
was
get
good.
through.
Yeah,
And
I thought the story was good, but I can see how people wouldn't enjoy it as much as I did. For me, like I don't know, I really enjoyed everything about the story of that one, even though I'm not really a story guy. The thing that
yeah,
mainly bothered me with Wonderlands is, obviously the DLCs not being true like DLCs. They're just like not even. It almost didn't even feel like Headhunter length. You know what I mean? And
oh, they
then
weren't.
yeah, and then like the lack of dedicated drops. Like there are dedicated drops in the game, but you have to beat the game. Then you have to get Chaos 20. You have to go do the Loot Luck Shrine. And after you've done all of that, that's when at that point you have a 9% chance to get a sword explosion from LeChance. What?
Yeah,
How, like, the loot lock system could have been so good if they just attached it to world drops. Like if you're like, I want world drops and I want world drops to be crazy, let me chase down this loot lock stuff. That would have been great. And then other people could be like, I don't want all the world drops, I'm not going to touch the loot lock. And then they have that option, you know what I mean? Or if you could even like toggle on or off. But I went off on a tangent again. Sorry. What were we talking about?
You're fine. You're fine.
Talking about the price. Oh,
Yeah.
here's one thing that I will point out. When adjusted for inflation, Borderlands 4 with the Super Deluxe and all that is cheaper than what Borderlands 2 would be now for its Super Deluxe. And that doesn't even include the Headhunter packs, wouldn't even include the Krieg DLC, would include, was it Commander Lilith, and then there's like cosmetics and stuff like that. So not even counting all that, Borderlands 4 is actually, when adjusted for inflation again, I mean, because it's been like, what, 12, 13 years now, it's cheaper, technically, than what Borderlands 2 would be in today's economy.
I mean, good on you for knowing the math on that one.
Hey,
or
yeah,
at least
listen,
having seen it.
I've been getting into discussions with people who are like, oh man, games are too expensive nowadays. And yeah, we all want like games to be $40, right? Like nobody's like sitting here going, oh man, I'm glad games are expensive. But I paid $70 for video games in the 80s and the 90s. Like games haven't, like, that's one of the few pieces of entertainment that stayed like almost the exact same value for 40 years. Can you imagine anything else staying the exact same price for 40 years?
I mean, GameCube games,
blows my mind.
I was buying those for $60.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
and we get so much more in general. We get so much more with video games nowadays than we used to back then.
Yeah.
Now a lot of them are buggy messes when they first launched, but
hey, I mean, like, I don't like. I that's, you know, that's not me like trying to get into price being like, oh man, it's unfair or anything, because I agree with you on that. Like, I don't think that it's unfair to say, hey, let's charge $70 or $80 for a game. My only thing is, you just got to prove that it's worth that much, because not everyone's going to be
100%.
Oh yes, I want that, give it to me.
Yeah.
There's a reason why
100%.
everyone is now guessing, do I want this game or do I not want this game?
Yeah.
And it's because, like you said, everything's a buggy mess.
Yeah, like you look at like Cyberpunk, one of the most hyped games to like ever come out, and then it launches and people are like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then I was super excited about No Man's Sky. I'm like a huge like space travel nerd. So like when I heard about No Man's Sky, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be able to go to all these planets. I'm gonna be like set up my camp and do all this stuff. And then you get the game and it's like you hear like that Titanic like generic flute play, you know? You're like, oh, this is not what I signed up for.
That was me with Starfield, and then I was like, well, I'm disappointed that all these planets are empty.
Yeah, I played Starfield early on, and I had a really hilarious moment with a ladder where my corpse got stuck in a ladder and just started flopping around. That was about the highlight of my playthrough.
That's great. But I don't know, just in general, that like covers everything that I really want to chat about. But just like in general though, I just because I'm like known on like my channel, like with the guys that I run it with, as like being the negative one in general, just give me your most negative things about Borderlands 4 right now. Just like the stuff that has to be fixed prior to day one.
Okay, so I know that I take a different stance on this than what I think Jolt's dude and some of the other guys are. There's modifiers in this game. They're not like super obnoxious modifiers. A couple of them are. And I don't like that. I know that that's a thing in like a lot of ARPGs where like an enemy will have like, you know, some like he'll like completely resist like an element or whatever. But when it's something like there's this one where you kill an enemy and they become, their corpse basically becomes a singularity, and it pulls you in and it starts doing damage to you. Like when Terramorphous hits his phase where he just goes, you know, full on sucky suck mode. And if you're doing a melee build, imagine you're doing a melee build, you kill this guy and then you're just stuck and you just die. It's like, bro, there's nothing fun about that. Yeah. To me, I don't think that modifiers should be in Borderlands. And if they do put modifiers in there, they shouldn't be that many. Like I had like a list of them. There was like I put it in my video. I
Yeah.
don't remember how many total there was, but
I
there was a
remember you
bunch. And I was
mentioning
just like,
24 or something you counted.
yeah, yeah. It was like it was upwards of 20 something, I think. And I'm like, dude, why? Just why? I don't like that. Otherwise, I don't like the UI of the menus. You know, we've gotten so used to like Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3, Borderlands 1, and the menus maybe they're not like, you know, godly or anything, but everything makes sense where it's at and it's like easy to like, you know, change things. I think that maybe they're overcompensating for some of the complaints that they got on Borderlands 3, and they took the menu, the inventory menu, to like a completely left field sort of thing, and it just doesn't feel right to me. Nothing about that feels good. Otherwise, I mean, I'm glad that I complained and got us a combat radar while everybody mocked me and said, why you keep harping on this? I'm like, bro, let me tell you, I've played and we need it.
Hey, I
We
mean,
need it.
I never once doubted that in the slightest. Every
I
time I
wish I
saw
could
it, I
say the
was
same
like,
thing
mini
about
map,
everybody.
please.
I took a lot of crap from a lot of people, but the day that me, Moxie, Lil Gas Mask, Birdman Jolts, and Eruption Fang was there with us too. We got done playing in San Francisco, and as we're walking back to the hotel from 2K, um, we're just talking, and like literally all of them go, "We were wrong. We need a mini map." I was like, "I told you guys. I told you guys." And so I'm pretty sure like every one of them put that in their video that I was right about the mini map. I was like, well, thank God I'm like, you know, saved.
You
'Cause can
started
you
a
imagine
wave.
if everybody was like, K6, you are wrong, and then they released the game and I was wrong? I would have to deal with that.
Well, hey, now you get to be like, hey, I told you so to everybody. And as soon as the game comes
Yeah.
out, because it's toggleable, as soon
Mm-hmm.
as like everyone gets a chance to like play without that mini map, and then they end up turning
Mm-hmm.
it on and then going, oh man, it's so much better with that. Now you get to sit there and like be on the pedestal and be
Yeah.
like, hey, I told you also. Should have listened.
Yeah. And the weirdest part though is like, okay, so they did the Borderlands 1 remastered, right? Or enhanced or whatever they call it. And they added a mini map on that. But a lot of people don't seem to know this. You can turn off the mini map on the Borderlands 1 enhanced. You can also turn off the compass or turn them both on or turn them both off. You have that option.
I didn't know
Why
that.
that's not an option on Borderlands 4 is like, what? Like this is an option you have in like one of your older games, basically. So why
Yeah.
not have that option again? Like I get it though. They need to focus on the gameplay. They need to focus on the story and the maps and all that. And I appreciate that that's what they're focusing their attention on. But like this is like a crucial element of what Borderlands players are used to is having that mini map for that quick information about combat. That's the main reason that we want it is the quick information about our combat.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Like I said, like I fully agree with you on that, and I'm glad. I'm just very thankful that you ended up getting that put in. I'm glad it didn't come down to like a million people after the game's launch complaining about it for them to
Yeah.
like rush it in after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Yeah.
that would have just been absolutely terrible.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
But well that literally that covers like everything that had that I wanted to chat about. So I mean, again, I appreciate you like taking the time to like come chat and everything. And you know
I
what? Just for
appreciate
the
you.
few subscribers that we have, hey, if you do not know Ki11er Six, check him out. He is a great Borderlands YouTuber. If you are into Borderlands, subscribe to him. He's saying no, but do it. Do it, even if it's out of spite.
I think I do have some of those subscribers actually.
But yeah, but again, I have been Aiden from Game Sandwich. Thank you again, Ki11er Six, for
Thank you.
joining in. Thank you everybody for checking it out. But yeah, if you like it, feel free to subscribe, do all that stuff, like the video. I'm not used to this, so but we'll see you guys next time though.